welcome to the Cozymeadowknits podcast. This is episode 34. My name is Sophie and I am coming to you from the province of New Brunswick, which is located on the east coast of Canada, where I live with my husband and our 2 children, and this is a knitting podcast. I'm an obsessed knitter. I want to knit all the things, and this is a space where I share about my recent makes and my current whips and any of the dream knitting that I want to do, which is basically all the things. You can find me on Ravelry and on Instagram as cozymeadowknits. As well, I do have an email address. Everything that I will talk about today and all of the patterns, the makers, shops, I will have all of that linked down below this video. I also share a recipe at the end of the episode, as well as stay tuned because I will have a gift away to announce for my 3-year podiversary. It's been 3 years since I've started this podcast, and I am so grateful for every one of you who have stuck with me for all of that time. And as a thank you, I have a few prizes to gift away. So I think that's it for the introduction. I will say though that today I have a full house. The whole family is here. Yeah, so if you hear some doors or some pitter patter, also my husband is right outside and he's working on our deck. Hopefully, he said he was almost done, so hopefully there's not too much noise. This is the only time, guys, I have to record. If I don't record now, I will not be back in a couple of weeks because it's going to be crazy busy. So buckle up and here we go. I have tons to talk about. I have 4 finished objects. 3 of them are sweaters. I have a pair of mittens, and I have 1 sock. So let's get into it. I will talk about my first project, my first finished project, which is this sweater that I am wearing. It is the Playful palette by Julianne Knitter. She also goes by Twin Stitches Designs, and this was a test knit. I started this in the summer, I think in July, and I finished it a couple of weeks ago, and I am so happy with it. I did talk about it on my last podcast, so I will not go into too many details, but I will do an overview, I guess. This sweater is a fingering weight sweater pattern. In the pattern, there are the instructions for how to space out these stripes. I followed the pattern to a T for that. It is knit top down, so you start on the back panel and then you come around and knit the front, then you connect and knit the body, and then you pick up for the sleeves, and then you knit the sleeves, and then you're going to also pick up for the neckband. I'm going to stand up and show you a little bit. I'm going to scoot the chair back. Sorry if there's too much noise. I apologize. Okay, all right, I hope you can see this. There goes my husband doing some screws. He seriously said that it's almost done. He's almost finished. Okay, so the sweater. This is my Playful palette sweater. I love it so much. Yeah, so I can show you the bottom. I have 6 different stripe colors, and I finished it with a 1x1 twisted rib. And I can show you kind of like the shoulder, how it's connected, and the back. I don't think you can see much of the back, but I think, okay, all right, I think that's it. Let me scoot back up. All right, there. Okay, so yeah, I absolutely adore the sweater. I highly recommend the pattern. It is a great pattern where if you have minis to use up for the stripes, Again, I have 6 minis. No, sorry. I have 6 different stripe colors. Some of them were minis. Some of them were leftovers from other projects. I really had fun choosing the colors. You do not need to do 6 colors. You can do it. Possibilities are endless, really. I am actually planning another one, and I'll show you the yarn that I have for that one, but it'll only be a 2-color sweater. So anywho, for this one, 6 colors. I can tell you that I have knit the size 4. What else? The only modification that I did was how many stitches that I picked up for the neckband. Now, I'm not sure if that will change. I'm not sure if she changed that number in the pattern that will be released, but in the pattern at the time that I was testing, I did pick up for the amount of stitches that was in the pattern, and for me it puckered a little bit. I found that there was not enough for me. Maybe it's a knee problem, so I just ripped it back and then I picked up more. It worked out great. And yeah, trying to think, I used a needle size 4mm for the body, and it's a wonderful pattern. It's a wonderful sweater. Stripes are classic. They are so much fun to knit as well, because all you're doing is you're knitting and you're trying to get to that other stripe. So highly recommend. Yeah, the yarn that I used for the main body is called Cascade Refine, and it's a recycled yarn. I don't have all the details offhand. I do not have a ball band with me. But yeah, this color is called, I think it's called Nutmeg. I love this color. This yarn though is a little bit, it feels rustic. And I'm not sure if it's the color that makes a difference, because I have the same yarn in another color and I find it a little bit softer. So for me though, the prickly, that doesn't bother me at all, but that's just a little, I guess, a little bit of information just in case. Yeah, so that is my Playful sweater, my Playful palette sweater. Highly recommend. I think that's it. Okay, so this was one of the sweaters that I was knitting on in the summer, and I also was knitting on 2 other sweaters. And let's go into the next sweater that I have. It is called the, I keep looking over there. It's because all of my situation of my knitting is here. So the next sweater that I'm going to talk about is the Ephesus sweater by Cata Rubke. Hopefully I'm saying all of that correctly. I'm going to do a quick wardrobe change and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my Ephesus sweater. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Yeah, I adore this sweater. I adore this sweater. It is a very, very well written pattern. It is a sweater that is knit top down. It is a yoke sweater. It has lace all around. I will stand up in a few seconds and show you. And it is a DK weight pattern. Let me stand up and show a little bit more how it fits. Okay, so I absolutely adore this sweater. I cannot recommend it enough. I'm gonna turn around, hopefully you can see. The yoke and lace goes all around. The lace is not hard at all. It was such a quick knit for me because it's knit at a very large gauge. So, and I knit also longer than my usual. You can't really see, I'm on my tippy toes. But yeah, I knit this one longer than usual, and I like it because I can just tuck it in front of my jeans and still have it like hide the situation here that I have. I have very wide hips. I'm very hippie. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's the fit. I love the fit. It's very airy, but it's also very soft and cozy. It is so it's knit at a very large gauge. I think the gauge is 16 stitches for 4 inches. So I have knit sweaters at that gauge before, and like the Love Note sweater. I've also knit the Wilfreda sweater, which is, I think that one might be a 15 stitch, but very similar. So I knew I could pump out the sweater with the size that I wanted to make. I made size 4. I have a 40.5-inch bust. So I like around 4 inches of positive ease on my sweaters. So for that, this one, it was size 4. And so yeah, I had 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, which was by Sweet Skein of Mine, and the color was Skipping Stones. And the mohair that I've held it with is just a solid blue mohair by Fleece Artist Handmaiden. And I held it together, and the marling, just the effect, I just absolutely loved the end result. One modification that I did do to this pattern is for the sleeves, I followed the instructions for the sleeves only for the bind off. It was asking for an I-cord bind off, which I did do, and I did not like it. It was a me problem. It was a bit tight. So what I did, I unraveled that, and I did a rapid decrease, and then I did a 1x1 rib. Those instructions should be in my project page. I'm confident that I did because I had to go back and check when I did the second sleeve to make sure it would match this one. So those instructions are in my project page. And I think that's basically it. Those are the only modifications. You knit the body straight. That's how I did it as well. Yeah, there are some short rows in the back. I used 6.5 millimeters needles to get gauge. In the pattern, it calls for 5 millimeter needles, and there is no way. I am a very tight knitter, so I'm assuming that she's a loose knitter, maybe. But anyway, it doesn't matter if you're tight or you're loose. You use the needles for you to get gauge. Okay, so you choose the size. You'll see how you can get gauge at whatever size needle that you can get gauge. Does that make sense? I'm babbling, I'm sorry. I think you're getting what I'm trying to say. So all of that to say, it's a very quick knit, and I absolutely 100%, 200% recommend this pattern. The only other thing that I did to this is that when I finished and I blocked it, it grew a little bit, which was great. I knew it would. But the neckline kind of slooped, like it was, is that a word? Slooped. Pretty sure it's not. But it just kind of like, it was wide. It was a little bit too wide. So what I did, and I've done this on many of my sweaters now, is that I just threaded an elastic thread around the neckline, and didn't tight it too much, but it just keeps the neckline, it stays put. It stays where it should be. It doesn't sloop down. And then you don't see the bra strap. That's for me. I have instructions on how I do that. I am not an instructor. I did do a little video tutorial, but very unprofessional. But if you want to see how I do it, I will link down the video below where I have that in there. Yeah, so that's it. This is my Ephesus sweater. Highly recommend. Let me know if you cast it on, because I can't say enough good things about this one. Okay, that is sweater number 2. Sweater number 3 is coming up. Let me do a quick change. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm gonna stand up and show my next finished object, which is my Tolsta tee by Clow, and I'm just gonna show you guys, and then I'll sit back down and talk about it. So yeah, this is my Tolsta tee. You will see that it's not a t-shirt. I made the sleeves a bit longer to be a 3/4 length sleeve, but other than that, I followed the pattern to a T. Yeah, and I absolutely love this one as well. Okay, so that's the view. Again, I did it a little bit longer than my usual, and I just tuck it in the front, and it's just a very casual, but yet you can dress it up, you can dress it down, very comfortable sweater. Okay, I'm gonna sit down now. Again, I apologize for all of the chair moving, but this is very unprofessional, so. Okay, the sweater, I absolutely love it. If you haven't heard or you haven't knit the sweater, it's a very popular pattern by Clow. The pattern has instructions for a DK weight yarn and for a fingering weight version as well. The version that I knit is a DK weight. The yarn that I used is called Sandnes Garn Duo, which is a combination of cotton and merino wool, and it's absolutely lovely to knit with. So this sweater t-shirt feels very light, and yeah, I absolutely love it. Reasoning why I did these 3/4 length sleeves is just because I find I get more wear out of these types of garments, because I wear my sweaters at work. It's always freezing at work. So I find I do love sweaters. I do knit t-shirts as well, but yeah, I knew I wanted this as a 3/4 length sweater. The pattern, I'm not going to go into it much. I've already talked about the sweater before, but if you're curious about the stripes, I did stripes, as you can see. I don't know what you can, I'm sure you can or you can't see, but like the wheels are continuously working in my head, and I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna say like next. So if I pause or I say something kind of odd, I apologize. I totally blame this on my perimenopause brain, okay? And I'm sure you all understand. Okay, so the stripes. The instructions for the stripes that I did, the sequence of it, I have that in my project page. And basically 4 rounds for the blue, 3 rounds for the gray, and 2 rounds for the red pink. And I just repeated that all the way down. For the instructions on I did decreases for the sleeves. I don't think I have that in my project page, but this is very personal. Everybody has different sizes of arms, so how I did it is I would knit a little bit, and then I would try it on. I would see if I need another decrease, and then I just pretty much eyeballed it. And it worked, but I tried it a lot. So it worked out for that one, and then I just mirrored the same on the other sleeve. There's no other modifications that I can think of. there is one thing that I want to do that I haven't done yet, and I will show you. As you can see, for me, see right there, for me, this one, the neckline is a little bit big again and loose. It's slooping. I'm gonna stop saying that word, I promise. I won't say it again. I'm gonna do my elastic thread trick, and I'm pretty sure I know it's going to help anyways on keeping it put where it's supposed to be. And that's what I'm gonna do to that. The other thing, that I wanted to talk about is the bind off. Now, I used a different type of bind off on this, and I can show you kind of how it looks. It's a really neat bind off. I usually do a sewn bind off or an Italian sewn bind off, something like that, where you take the yarn, you take the strand of yarn and you keep a very long tail, kind of like 4 times the circumference of whatever you're going to sew, and then you thread a needle, and then you do the bind off with the needle, and you have to thread the whole tail of the yarn, and sometimes it gets tangled, and sometimes when you're doing it on the bottom ribbing, you have a very, very long tail. Anyway, the process of it is very long. It's worth it though, because you do get a really nice clean bind off. But Leanne from the Knitty Stew, we were talking, and she suggested a different type of bind off, and it's called the Haya bind off, I think. I will link that video down below. Leanne's a genius because I absolutely love it. It's a game changer. I'm not going to explain too much how you're going to do, but I can tell you, you do not have that long tail. You do not need to sew it. So the bind off, you do shuffle a little bit the stitches around. It's always with your needles. You don't have like that darning needle. But yeah, it's just still a little bit time consuming, but way less than the long tail one. Anyway, if you're interested, I will have that link down below, and I totally give credit to Leanne. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's it for this sweater. That was my last sweater finished object. My next finished object is a pair of mittens. These are so awesome. These are the Lift Me Up mittens by Manon Drolet, who is also known as La Violette Knits. And last year she came out with a mitten pattern. Oh, I forget. Oh, the Coastal Drift mittens. They were so much fun. These are just as fun and so pretty. So this mitten is a DK weight yarn pattern, and I chose to knit it with a strand of fingering weight yarn, which was something in my advent calendar that I had last year. It was a 50-gram skein, so I knew I had enough for a pair of mittens. Yeah, so I held that strand of fingering weight yarn with a strand of mohair, and the mohair, I don't even have the ball band either. It's something that I've used in the past, I bought in the past. If I can find it, I will put it in my project page if you're really interested, but yeah. Basically a fingering weight yarn and a strand of mohair for this pair of mittens. Manon has a video tutorial on how to do these stitches. They are, I don't even know what it's flower stitches or something. Anyway, they are so pretty. It's very fun actually to knit once you get the hang of it. It's not hard. I can tell you that for the cuff, I did it wrong. I didn't really do it wrong. I forgot one of the repeats. So it does start with a rolled hem. So that's fun. That's pretty easy to do. And then you do this little cable, 1/1 cable, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I was supposed to repeat that cable again. Oopsie. I didn't do that, but I still think it's fine. I like it this way as well. But if you see that it's different from any other people that have done it, that's why. And that's pretty much the only modification that I did unintentionally. And then, yeah, so this is the inside of the mitten, and then you knit up to the mitten, and then you go in and pick up, or you knit after the thumb. Anyway, a pair of mittens. They're lovely. They knit up super quickly, and they would make a very, very nice gift. Perfect for gift knitting for the holiday season. And yeah, I forgot one end. Yeah, so I plan to make another pair of these, and I am thinking of holding fingering weight double to make a DK weight. So that would be extra squishy, I think, also. Yeah, so it's perfect for leftovers because it barely uses any yarn. I will have, I think I do have the amount of yarn, or the weight of how much yarn I used for these, in my project page. So those are the Lift Me Up Mittens by Manon Drolet. And my last, it's not an FO, it's a half finished object, I guess. It is a sock. And where is my sock? Oh, it's buried. Just one moment. Okay. This is a test knit sock for Nancy Wheeler. She will be coming out with a pattern called Sampler Sock, I think. I'm not sure. I will have this down here, the correct name of it. Sorry, Nancy, if that's wrong. So this is my version of the sock. Isn't it fun? Oh my gosh. I absolutely wanted to knit a sock for Halloween, just because of the season. I absolutely love fall and Halloween, so I don't have a Halloween colorway either of yarn, but this is what I came up with for the sock. Now, reason why I say this is what I came up with is because Nancy's pattern is actually a pattern with lots of little charts. So it's a fingering weight sock, and I tested the 72 stitch version of it. So I knit mine on 2.5 millimeters. Again, I'm a tight knitter, so that's why I have kind of like a slightly bigger needle size, I find, than other people. But yeah, so in her pattern, she has the instructions on all of these different patterns. So that's a pattern, that's a chart. She has a chart for this. She has a chart for this type of stitch as well. There's this one. This is a different chart as well. This, all the white, so all the stripes are a different chart that she has in the pattern. They're all simple little 4-stitch repeat charts, and they are not hard at all. They're so simple, and they make all of these different textures. Like, look at that one. That one's really fun. Here, and this is a different one. This is a different one. This is a lateral braid, which mine is wonky, but it was the first time that I was doing that, so I still love it. And then I just repeated some of the charts. So you will see, if you follow Nancy, you'll see that there's different types of versions of this. Everybody can have a different sock. There are about 10 charts. Hopefully I'm not saying too many things about the pattern, but there are 10 charts to choose from, and then you can knit them all in one sequence. You can knit only one chart if you want for the whole sock. The possibilities are endless. So what I wanted, I had already envisioned in my head, I wanted a striped sock. And these are all minis that I have from different yarn advents. They're mixed in together. I have no idea what the colors are, but some I know for sure that some are from Sweet Skein of Mine. The other ones I'm not even sure. But I also picked out these colors because I wouldn't knit with these colors regularly. Like, this isn't me. But I absolutely adore this in a sock for Halloween. So if you have minis where they're not really colors that you really like or gravitate towards, because when you get our yarn advent calendars, sometimes you're not going to absolutely love all of the colors. There might be a few that you're not really sure of. If you think of using those in a themed project or like a themed sock, if you don't like fall and they're like browns and stuff, if you don't like fall, if you don't like browns or neutrals or whatever, different types of colors, but you do like fall, you can do like a stripy fall sock or anything else. Same thing, I'm going to stash dive for maybe a Christmas sock as well. So some vibrant reds. It's not that I don't like those colors, it's just it might not be in a garment that I have or whatever. Those are perfect colors to use in socks because socks can always be fun. Okay, so this is what I came up with. I used the smaller charts for the white part, and then I used the different minis for the sock color. This is my version. I am already on the second sock. I need to pick up the pace because this sock is coming out this weekend. I know she is releasing it for the PEI festival. I'm sorry, for the PEI Fiber Festival, which is next weekend, which I am so excited about because I'm going. I can't wait to see everyone and see all of the yarn, and yeah, so excited. But anyway, it will be available with a purchase of yarn from Yarn Indulgences. She will have that pattern there, and then it will be released to the public next week. I think I have all of those details correct. I hope. Anyway, so look out for this pattern. It's coming out soon. Okay. That's the last of my finished objects. I am already started on the second sock. I'm not going to show it. It's just a work in progress. But I have one last no, I have two. What time is it? Oh my God, this is so long. I have two other works in progress. I'm gonna go through it pretty fast, hopefully. I will go with this one. Okay, this is a sweater work in progress. It is in my seasonal bag that I got from Dolphina. Anyway, I love it. It's very spooky. And so this is the sweater. I finally cast it on, guys. I've been talking about the sweater for a little while, just saying that I am going to cast on and knit it, and I finally had time to do it. This is the Taarika sweater by, I forget the name of the pattern designer. She will be down here. Yes. So I have started and complete the yoke of this sweater. This is a sweater. It's a worsted weight pattern, and I used pretty much the same colors as the designer. not the same yarns, but the kind of same colors. Already I can tell you that this is incorrect. This gray stripe should be the navy blue stripe. It should be navy blue color. I only noticed this boo-boo when I was here. And I was like, I ain't going back for that. I'm totally fine with it. It's fine. It's a design feature for me. So this is the color work. It is very fun to knit. And I will tell you that there are some rows, quite a few rows where you have to manage 3 colors at the same time. That gets a little bit tricky. It's not tricky, it's just yarn management. It's hard to not get the yarns all tangled up. I will post a picture right here on my first attempt for this yoke. And you will see that there is, in my picture, there was a gray dot here, well, a gray stitch all in between here. So in the pattern, that's how it is charted. And that stitch was actually off-centered. And at first, when I was knitting it, I noticed it was off-centered. It wasn't landing right in the middle of this peak. It was just over here. Anyway, it was a stitch over. And I was seeing that, and I'm like, well, and then I look back at the chart and I'm like, maybe it'll magically all work out after. But I'm like, I'm following the chart. This is it. And I kept counting and I was right bang on. So I knitted a little bit further down and I really was not satisfied at all with how those stitches were so off-centered. And I'm like, I really don't like the look of it. And so I checked the pattern picture, the picture that is on the pattern page. If you look closely, there is no dot on the sweater that she is wearing. There is no stitch here. So I don't know if she added the stitch after the fact to the chart. So what I did when I ripped back, I had to rip back anyways because of my tension issue. I just omitted that stitch. Instead of making that stitch gray like this, I just knit the stitch with the blue. So that's one modification that I did. Now, I don't know if it's a mistake, or I think it's a mistake in the chart. I looked at the project pages of the people that did knit. There's about 19 projects, and they all have that offset stitch. Some, it does not show at all. You can hardly tell because of the contrast of the yarns. It's really not noticeable. But for me, the contrast was so high, it was just like, it was like blinding you. So, well, it was blinding me. Anyways, it was bugging the heck out of me. So that's what I did for that. That's one thing that I wanted to mention. The other thing that I wanted to mention, as well as in the project page, again, the sweater that is on the model, I'm not sure if she is the designer, but the color work here is a tiny bit different from what is in the chart. What is in the chart is beautiful. I see, and all of the projects from the other knitters follow that pattern, like the chart that's in the pattern, and it's lovely. But I fell in love with the picture on the pattern. So I kind of replicated the same thing. I think, I'm not even sure what was different again, but it's somewhere around in here. I think it's different. The same stitch, I used the same stitch count. It was just, instead of having maybe all of this line, which should have been gray, and I've added this as a peak. I think it was around here anyway. It worked out because it was just switching colors for this little part. anyway, there's that. And then I also added a blue stitch. See, my tension is not great. It's there, peekaboo. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, so I added a stitch here. In the pattern, there is, I'm not sure if it's this one or this one. There's only like, in the pattern would be like this stitch and then this stitch and this stitch. Instead of having one in the middle, I added the one in the middle because my floats weren't going to be as long. So that's why I added this little stitch, which I think is actually on the sweater that is on the pattern page. I don't know if this is all making sense. I just felt that I needed to say that because in case if anyone wants to knit this pattern. Other than that, the pattern is super well and clearly written. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's not horrible. I still recommend this pattern. Just know that it might be a little bit different from the picture that is on the pattern page. Now I have split for sleeves, and now I am in stockinette stitch heaven. I can just knit, knit, knit and watch TV or read, and yeah. So more on that later, but I will not talk about all of these different things on the next episode, I promise. That was a long one, I'm sorry. Okay, I actually have another work in progress that I forgot that I had. This is my last work in progress. It will be a cowl, I hope. This is something that I whipped up and I am currently working on. There is no pattern for this. Basically what I wanted is a cowl that would kind of go kind of like pointy here, and then I'm going to knit and increase it and then have it attached in the middle. So basically like a really small version of it, it would be kind of like this, kind of like a bandana cowl, and this would be attached together and knit up and kind of like squish here and then have that peak there. Yeah, so I'm writing down this pattern. I have no idea if this will be just a me thing, and but I'm having fun with it. And the yarn, it's just, I was inspired with the yarn. When I saw this yarn at the Woolstock East, this is one of my acquisitions, I guess, but yeah, this is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is Yarn Indulgences yarn. This is some of her sock marl yarn. I absolutely adored the colors that were in here. There's kind of like maroon, brown kind of, and then that little pop of teal. It was just soft, and this was on one of her walls, and I'm like, I want to knit something with this, but then I saw this Surrey mohair. No, it's not mohair. It's silk and Surrey blend. It is the softest. It's so soft. This colorway is called Wagon, and this colorway is called Cocoa something. I can't remember. I will put this in my project page, but this Surrey is no joke. It is the softest fluff I have ever felt. And I just wanted to marry these two together, and I knew I wanted to make a cowl. So that's what I'm knitting up. And I really wanted it to be finished for the festival that is next weekend in PI, and I will not. There's no way that I'll be done by Friday. So anyway, but that's kind of what I kind of want. I want to put it like this and then have it like up to here, kind of squished down. It is a very large gauge I am using. Oh Lord. Can I see? I don't see. I can't see. Those are 5 millimeter. So I'm using a 5mm needle and it's creating this soft material. Anywho, I just wanted to show this because if you are in PI, you need some salt morel, but you need to feel this fluff. It's amazing. I want a sweater out of this. I want another fingering weight held with this Surrey. I already have a pattern in mind. So I'll be shopping for that, I think, on the weekend. So anyway, this is my last work in progress. More to come. Hopefully I'll have a lot more knitted, or maybe I'll be done by the next time I record. So stay tuned for that. Okay, now on to gift away. If you're still here, hi. Thank you for listening to me blabber about all that stuff. I wanted to thank you guys and host a gift away for my 3rd podcast anniversary. And yeah, I have some prizes for you that were donated, kindly donated. So the first prize that I will have is 2 skeins of the Double Sunday yarn by Sadness Garn. So this is a DK weight yarn. I will have 2 skeins of this and these beautiful stitch markers. Oh, there. A little butterfly. These beautiful stitch markers, these were donated by Sassy Strings Yarn, Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. And this was donated by La Violette Knits. So with this yarn, you will be able to make the Lift Me Up mittens if you want. So this, I love this color. It's kind of like a dusty rose. It's not true to color on the camera, but yes, very beautiful color. So that's one of the prizes that I will have. I have another prize that is being donated by Simone. She is Sand and Sky Creations on Instagram, and she is a pattern designer, and she I will see her actually at PI. Simone, I can't wait to see you and give you a big hug. Yeah, so she contacted me and wanted to donate a pattern of the winner's choosing. So that will be another prize, so a pattern prize from her. Thank you so much, Simone, for that. And I was also contacted by Penelope from Yellow Petal Handmade and Mabel and Rose, who Yellow Petal Penelope, she makes gorgeous bags. I have some. I will show you one of the little things that I got from her in Woolstock East, and she is going to send me a bag. I think it's a bag, a sock bag, I think, and something special from Mabel and Rose. Mabel and Rose is a little company. She makes jewelry, but she makes like progress keepers. She makes bracelets, which I have one and I will show you after. I bought one a couple weekends ago from her, and yeah, so that will be another prize. So a bag and a little trinket from Mabel and Rose as well. So 3 prizes, amazing. Thank you so much to the makers that did donate. You didn't have to do that, but I am so happy to be able to gift that to you guys. And yeah, so that will be the gift away. To participate, all you have to do is write me a comment. You can comment anything. There will be no word that you have to comment. Just any comment will enter you into the draw. Yeah, so if you want just to put emojis, if you want to say hi and where you're from, if you want to tell me what you're knitting on, if you, absolutely anything. I love to read all the comments. I am awful at replying. I was not awful, but right now life has just been absolutely crazy. I'm still going back and reading comments from the last videos, and I'm not replying to them because they're already been there for so long, and I feel so bad, but I heart everyone that I have read, and I'm going back and reading them all. I thank you so much. So for this one, again, I won't reply because I'm pretty sure there'll be lots of comments because a lot of you want to get some prizes, duh. I totally don't blame you, but I will read all of them and heart them, and I thank you in advance. Okay, so let's get into acquisitions. I need to speed this up because I need to start supper. So I will go very quickly on this. So it's been about 4 weeks since I last recorded, and I have since been at a yarn festival. It was amazing. It was so much fun, but it was one day, and thank goodness, because whew, I could have bought everything, absolutely everything in there. Gosh, so many beautiful makers. I am going to start, okay, I need to get this. I'm gonna start with Penelope from Yellow Petal Handmade, since I just talked about her. So I picked up this beautiful, it's a little pouch. It's so darling. I love the material. I think this is called like Rifle Paper Co., I think. Look at me knowing something about sewing. I love this fabric. I already have another bag from Penelope that is in this pattern, in this fabric, and I loved it so much I wanted a little pouch for it. So I got this, and her craftsmanship is beautiful. It's beautifully lined. Here's her little tag. I highly recommend some of her bags. She's amazing. Such a lovely maker, and I got to meet her finally, and that was so much fun. I got to give her a big squeeze, and we talked a little bit. It was very busy. She had a very busy booth, which I was so happy to see, and yeah, so it was so fun to meet you, Penelope. I can't wait to meet you again. All right, so that was the little bag, and then she was sharing a booth with Mabel and Rose. So this, I will have her link down below as well. And I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, so Mabel and Rose, and what I got, she was selling some little, she has all sorts of different trinkets. I bought a bracelet. It's so delicate and sweet. I did not put it on because I wanted to show it, and I wouldn't be able to unclasp it myself, but this is what it looks like. If I can just like kind of show you. It's so cute. So she uses recycled beads, meaning she gets thrifted, or she buys from previously used jewelry, and she gives it new life in these beautiful pieces. So this is an awesome bracelet, and I absolutely wanted one when I saw it. It has 2 clasps. So basically this is the chain, okay, and then you clasp it to this little hook here, like that. And then you have another chain, oh, like this, and then you wrap it around and you clasp it as well. So you get this pretty bracelet. But also, these beads are all 1 inch apart. So you know what that means, right? When you're wearing it and you're out and about, you're in the car, you don't have a measuring tape with you, because we're knitters, we need to measure things, right? I know you get it. So you can measure with your bracelet. It has, for me, it has 6, I think it's 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she has some that is in gold. I saw some, and I am a silver person, so I got this one and I absolutely love it. She also has different chains like this for scissors as well, that you can hook your scissors on and in your project bag. She has that. She has stitch markers, all sorts of stuff. Very pretty. You can check her out on her website, and I can't wait to see what she gives for the gift away. You guys are very lucky because it's going to be beautiful. Okay, so that's my first acquisition. Okay, second, I stopped and I wanted to buy absolutely everything that was in there. I was like a kid in a candy store, I swear, or at Christmas. I did one loop and then we went back and then I chose. It was so hard. It was so hard to choose, and I wish I could support absolutely every maker, but I couldn't. I do not make enough money for that, but still, anyway, I got this. I got this beautiful, beautiful yarn from Red Island Fiber. She is a dyer. Her name is Amanda. She is a sweetheart, and she is in Prince Edward Island, and I am going to see her again at the PI Festival. Can't wait. This yarn, oh my God. Again, the color, yes. I will tell you what it is, and it's awesome. It's called Professor Plum. I didn't even know that. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, that's the color name, and the content of it is 100% Rambouillet yarn. So it's non-superwash. Yeah, it's non-superwash yarn. It's 100% Rambouillet. It's 100 grams, but the kicker, in 100 grams, you get 549 yards. That's amazing. Like, that's a lot of yardage. And this is a very plump, it's a fingering weight yarn, but she says that it plumps up during blocking even more. It is soft. It's not, I don't find it's rustic. For me, this is pretty soft. It's not the softest, but it's still very soft for non-superwash yarns. So I wanted a sweater, of course. That's what I try to buy because I know I'm gonna knit it. So this is gonna be a sweater. I have no idea, but I know I will have enough for one, because this is a lot of yardage, guys. So if you do go to PI, or if you do go on her website, I don't know, like, she had a lot of other colors that were beautiful as well. And she actually posted this weekend, and I don't know. I'm gonna try not to buy more, but I might have to because her colors are gorgeous. Okay, so that was one of the things. This is another one. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. There was this yarn dyer. She was called Pearl Passion, and she was down from Saskatchewan. So she had a booth. And she had like different themes of yarns, and there was like one section that it was like fairy tale themed. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. So I had to get a skein. I skeined it up again myself. Sorry, that's very sloppy. I'm not very good at it, but this is a fingering weight yarn with stellina and nylon. So this will be, pretty sure it'll be some socks, but you know, maybe some fingerless gloves too. I don't know. I don't know. I just know it was very beautiful. She had gorgeous, gorgeous colors. It was hard to pick, but I chose this one because, well, fairies. And also it reminded me of Zelda. If you're a gamer, anyways, it reminded me of the forest in that game. And I absolutely loved it. So I got that. And then me and Manon, we were shopping because I was with her, and we both got some weaving, little weaving kits. Sorry about the glare. Oh, there. See? And so it's an art weaving kit. I can show you. I've never done any weaving, but this looked really fun, and it's a small project. So I thought, so you get this little thing. It's super cute. And then I'm gonna do some weaving with these little bits of yarn. And I thought they were super Halloweeny, so I loved this one. And the instructions are in this kit. If I can link down this maker, I will link her down below. And yeah, she has instructions. So I'm looking forward to doing that. That will be a winter project because I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we'll have time to do this. But I thought that was really fun. Also, oh, I got these little lovely felted, aren't these cute? These are so cute. They're little felted balls that I'm gonna put on my Christmas tree. This is by, I think it's called Brigadoon Farms. I will link her down below. She has, not sure if it's llamas or alpacas. I'm not sure, but her yarn is beautiful and so soft. I have bought from that maker before, but when I saw these, needed to have these for the Christmas tree. So I have those. Last but not least, I got a bag. Of course, right? I need another bag. This one, I'm kidding. I don't need another bag. But I couldn't say no. Look at this bag. It is so beautiful. I passed by and I kept eyeing it, and I'm like, if this is here after my class, I'm getting it. And guess what? It was still there and I got it. I was so happy. This maker, again, I will link her down below. It is Fargo Cat Designs, and it's handmade in Nova Scotia. So she had a little booth, really great bags as well. So this is me. It's me. And she has pockets inside. There's one pocket and there's another one. It's super well lined, and she has snaps as well. Anyway, very lovely maker. I'm probably forgetting a ton of things, but I think that's all I have for this episode. That was long. I really want to record more often. Just my life is absolutely bonkers. So life stuff, look at how red I am. I'm so hot. Life stuff. Kids are back in school. Kids are back in sports. Hockey season has started. We're doing tryouts for my son. My son is 13. He is a soccer player and a hockey player. So that keeps us very busy. My daughter is 15 and she works, she goes to school. She has a little part-time job and she plays volleyball. So yeah, we have a tournament basically every weekend in November for sure. We have a couple in in October, and that's just for volleyball. There's going to be sprinkled with lots of hockey games in there. So that's our life. I am a taxi driver, and no, that's not true. I'm a taxi driver to my kids. I said that to one of my friends that we were just chatting, and she wished me happy anniversary. And I hadn't talked to her in so long. And she's like, how's it going? How's life? And I'm like, yada, yada, yada. My kids are like, family life is crazy. I am now a taxi driver. And she replied, she's like, really? Do tell, I need details. I think she really thought that I was a taxi driver. I'm like, no, just a taxi driver to my kids. Yeah, so I'm very thankful that I have my knitting, to all of the places that I have to drive and we have to wait in the car and stuff like that. So it works out for me as well, so it's okay. I think that's it about life stuff. My husband has built a hot tub hut. The hot tub is now functional and I have been using it pretty much every day. It's amazing. I love it and it's great. We do have family time sometimes because the kids want to pop in too, so it's fun. So we've been really enjoying that. And that's about it. I have been baking and cooking when I can. I have a recipe to share with you guys. It is for a roasted chicken. Now, yeah, this is a simple recipe. I've done it already multiple times and it is awesome because basically you cook your chicken and your vegetables all in the same pot in the oven, pop it in for a couple of hours and you get deliciousness after. Yeah, so it has some herbs and stuff. I follow the pattern. I follow the recipe basically to a T, except for it calls for a lemon that you put into the chicken. I am not fancy like that. I do not have just like real lemons. So I just squirt it with some I squirt it with the lemon juice you can get in the fridge. You know, in the fridge you get at the grocery store, those squeezable lemons, or actually I think I have a bottle now of just lemon juice. I just like squirt that in there a little bit and that works out fine. Just saying that just because you don't have to have absolutely everything that's in the recipe. Just use it loosely. It's still really, really good and easy. Highly recommend. I will have that below. If you are still here, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I truly appreciate you. Thank you for all the comments and the well wishes. I am so honored. Again, I keep saying that, but I am. It really means a lot that you guys are watching and, you know, supporting this podcast. If you like this episode, you can like and you can subscribe. If you don't want to, that is okay too. I'm just happy you're here. I wish you all the happiness, all the wellness, all the knitting and enjoyment. If you are in PEI this weekend, October 3rd, I think, and 4th. Anyways, we will be there. Nancy will be there. There's a whole bunch of New Brunswick knitters. We are going to be there. So we're going to take over. I'm just kidding. But we're going to be in there and loud and happy. I'm the one with the biggest smile on my face. If you see me, please come by and say hi. I would love to meet you. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching. I will see you in a few weeks. Enjoy. Happy knitting. Bye.